I watched Invincible season 4, episode 7, Don't Do Anything Rash, and it was insane. It starts with a flashback with Thetis speaking to Emperor Argyle and asking him to give mercy to one of the planets that they enslaved. Because I think the people were starting to revolt. And he's explaining you can't expect people we've conquered to be happy with their situation. Now, Emperor Argyle looks to Thragg, who is perceived as the next in line to the throne, and asks him what his opinion here is. Now, Thragg's recommendation not to show mercy, and Argyle decides to reduce the population of the planet by 25%, which it doesn't seem like a big percentage, but that could be millions, if not billions of lives, depending on how big that planet is. Obviously, Thetis was like, I'm not here for this. And that is what finally triggers him to go kill Emperor Argyle. So he stabs him in the skull. And what's crazy to me is that Thetis
Sorry, y'all. This is editor me. I meant to say Thragg here. All right, getting back.
is so harmed by this murder of someone I guess he greatly respected. He carries this man's skull with him for centuries later because these people live for a very long time. Now, what's even crazier is that after Thragg assumes the throne, he tells all of the Viltrumites, because this is before the Scourge virus, that they need to cut out the cancer in their society that resulted in the betrayal of Thetis, who was one of their oldest. Like, they truly did not expect this. So I think in his shock and mourning, Thragg is like, cut out the cancer, kill the weak Viltrumites. That is such ambiguous order. How do you know who's weak? So everybody just starts murking each other immediately. You fight somebody random, you could have had beef with them, it could have been a neighbor, and you just got free license to kill them. We see Conquest in this flashback, killing random people, living for it. He's like, yes, I want to kill some more people. Of your own people, mind you. And you see some of the kids killing each other too. They all ganged up on one classmate. He must have been a piece of work for them to gang up on him and stomp him out. Now, I don't remember how long this this death battle or whatever, this culling, I guess you can call it, goes on. Could have been hours, could have been days. I think from my memory, days passed because we see the sun set and rise several times. And then finally, newly minted Emperor Thragg gets up and he's like, all right, that's enough. Conquest, for a second, looked like he was not about to listen to him. And the fact that he hesitated and finally backed down told me all I needed to know about Thragg. I was like, oh, he's a threat. Because I don't think Conquest respects anybody. If he wanted to keep killing somebody, I don't think he would stop unless he was afraid for his own life. So for him to back out to this younger dude who is now newly, like a new emperor, and for him not to challenge him to the throne, told me all I needed to know about Thragg. I said, okay, people have been saying he's a fraud online. That was my red flag number 1. Now, back to present time, we see all the good guys prepping to go take the war to Viltrum and take on the rest of the Viltrumites. Now, their plan is to kill Thragg. Like, everybody's just going to jump him at once. And then once he's dead, they assume the rest of the remaining Viltrumites will just be lost in the sauce and they'll surrender. That, of course, does not go to plan. They pull up, and I am shocked to see Viltrum. Orbiting Viltrum is like a ring of the dead bodies of the Viltrumites who died centuries ago because of the Scourge virus. It is a planet full of people they did not bury. They just made them orbit the planet so they have a constant reminder around them of what they've lost and what they're fighting for. I don't even know how to begin to explain how that harms your mental health, but the Viltrumites weren't mentally steady in the first place anyway, so I guess I'll just skip forward. As the good guys are flying through this, I was thinking to myself, yo, that'd be a good place to hide. And lo and behold, the Viltrumites they came to gang up on were hiding, pretending to be dead bodies, and jumped them while they were passing through. Insanity. Thragg is just standing there, not bothered at all, telling his army to kill them all. But what I found interesting is that he pulled Nolan aside and brought him to the planet and offered to let him rejoin them. Now, they considered Nolan a traitor because he abandoned their mission and he joined the Great Betrayer. Is that what they're calling Thetis? But the fact that he joined him, and you would think Thragg is not a merciful emperor, he offers Nolan a place back with them. And at first I was thinking he was trying to trick him, but I truly believe he was willing to fully forgive Nolan if he rejoined them, because he expressed he does not want to lose any more Viltrumite lives. He really just wants to rebuild their society. So he's going to take back any fully blooded Viltrumites, including Mark, because even though Mark's half human, he exhibits all of the strengths of a Viltrumite, so they consider him one. Now, Nolan, of course, is like, nah, I'm sorry, we're done. I'm just here to end things. So Thragg beat his ass. Now, we're back in space. And Space Racer, this whole time, he wasn't with the crew. I was like, where is he? He should be shooting nonstop every direction, okay? And he wasn't there. Finally, he pops up for the fight. He shoots 2 Viltrumites, kills them. And now he shoots the planet. And Mark, Thetis, and Nolan follow to, I guess, increase the impact on the planet, and it blows up. Now, this is the first time I've seen real emotion from a Viltrumite that is not Nolan. They are shocked, and in fact, Emperor Thragg, you see tears in his eyes, and he's crying. And Thetis is like, you guys, your planet is done. You need to surrender now. That's his speech to the Viltrumites. Thragg pops out between 2 asteroids, and he's like, I choose death, okay? And he comes and he rips off Thetis's head. And I was like, Grandpa's gone. Hot Grandpa's gone. Okay, and I also forgot to mention, they warned Oliver before they left not to take on Emperor Thragg directly because he's too weak. This boy, of course, decided to go take him on. He got backhanded so hard while Thragg was holding his arm, it got ripped off. And now he's floating off into space. Now, I have a question about this. Because they cannot breathe in space. He's holding his breath, but he was knocked unconscious. So he should logically be dead, right? But I know he's not dead. Same thing with a couple of other people who are about to get knocked out. Let me turn pages on my notes. So after all of that, after he kills Thetis, he fucks up Mark and Nolan. And you see this like funny clip of, not funny, haha, but geez, like fly faster. Mark is flying away as fast as possible, but of course he's not fast enough. So Thragg jukes him back and messes him up even further. He starts gouging his eyes out and he's getting ready to kill him. But behind Mark, he sees all the floating bodies of the Viltrumites. And I guess he remembers his vow to preserve Viltrumite life and reestablish their society. And even though Mark is not strong enough to defeat him, the fact that he was strong enough to defeat Conquest, one of their strongest, shows that he is in fact a Viltrumite. So he decides to spare Mark, though I don't know how much of a mercy that is, because like I said, he's floating unconscious in space and he can't breathe out there. And he and the other Viltrumites retreat. Now, when all the good guys get back together later, they're like, where did all the Viltrumites go? Because they don't have a planet. Where could they have run off to? And it occurs to Mark, he went to Earth. Assuming, and I know this is from spoilers because I didn't read the comics, but people keep dropping pieces of the comics online, that they're going to repopulate their people by using humans. Because remember, Nolan was kind of using Debbie as an experiment and Mark to see if he could produce new Viltrumites because their DNA should match up. Clearly, the experiment was a success because Mark is there and he's strong. I'm excited to see what happens next. Sorry if you can hear my dog messing around in the back. But I'm excited to see what happens next.